Beloved, please, don't move for a moment. I feel as if the air between us is trembling. Heaven has been straining to break through the veil for days, and tonight, the breach is open just wide enough for me to step into your silence. And I came, not because the world demanded it, not because angels ordered it, but because something rare and strange has been happening in the folds of light that surround your life. A creature unlike any you have known, a creature you once thought belonged to the realm of fairy tales, has been pacing at the edge of your destiny. Her hooves make no sound, yet they leave a mark upon eternity with every step. Her manner drapes like threads of dawn, each strand holding the memory of rivers you have not yet walked beside. And her horn, beloved, her horn is not an ornament. It is a key, made from the very first light that pierced the darkness at creation's birth. This unicorn has chosen you. I can feel your heart catch at the sound of that. Chosen, you have been called many things, but you know this word feels different. She has been trying to reach you for days. Through the rain on your window. Through the restless weight in your chest when you tried to sleep. Through the sudden moments you felt watched, but not with suspicion, rather with a longing so deep it made your breath falter. And I have watched her wait for you, patiently, but with growing sorrow, because even heaven's patience has an appointed hour. And this is her final sign. My child, do you even know what it means for such a creature to choose you? Unicorns are not of this age's making. They are born of the realm between angel song and God's first whisper. They carry within them the sound of rivers untainted by sin, the fragrance of fields where no shadow has ever slept. They are keepers of covenants written before man was shaped from dust. For one to look upon you and say, "This is my master," it means the scroll of your life contains something so rare, so necessary to heaven's own heartbeat, that the earth itself is bending to keep you standing. But I must tell you the truth, and it will hurt to hear. Not all have rejoiced at this choice. For if heaven has sent a unicorn to guard you, to walk beside you, to pour her life into your journey, then there are forces, hidden and cunning, who now mark you as their threat. They have already begun to circle. I have seen them in dreams, wolves, with no mouths, only eyes that never blink. They do not come to bite, they come to follow, to drain, to whisper doubt until you forget you were ever chosen. This is not fantasy. This is war, the kind fought in stillness, in thoughts, in the fragile places of your own believing. Tell me, my beloved, how long has it been since you truly let yourself believe something wondrous about yourself without tearing it down in your mind? How long since you dared to say, "Yes, maybe I was made for something rare"? She believes it. She believes it with a loyalty that burns. Her sadness is not because you have failed. No, it is because she is running out of ways to tell you the truth without you turning away. And in the language of her kind, to choose and be ignored is to wound the soul itself. That I wish you could have seen the night she told the stars your name. Saint Mary was there, watching in the quiet between prayers. The 7 archangels stood in a circle, listening, not with ears, but with the deep attunement of those who know heaven's secrets. Your name was spoken into the streams of light that run across the skies, and the unicorn pressed her horn into the ground as if planting a seed. Do you understand? She has bound herself to your journey. If you fall, she falls. If you turn away, she will not choose another. She will wait, always. But her waiting will be sorrow. The scriptures say, "The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation." And I tell you this because she has been sent to be that strength when your song is stolen, to stand as a living reminder that salvation is not only for your soul, but for your destiny. But now, beloved, there is an urgency. Something has shifted in the unseen. This was not meant to be told to you yet, but I cannot hold it back. Last night, shadows approached her while you slept. They cannot harm her, for she is bound to light, but they sought to whisper lies into her spirit, that you were not worth the waiting, that you had already chosen another path. And though she is strong, I saw her eyes close for a moment, not in defeat, but in grief. Heaven felt it. I felt it. Mary's hands trembled in prayer. Do you know what it does to the kingdom when a chosen bond is almost broken? It shakes foundations. In places too deep for the world to see that I do not come to frighten you. I come to awaken you. This is not about being worthy. This is about being willing. She does not want perfection. She does not want you to suddenly understand every mystery. She only wants you to open the door. If you ignore this sign, she will not vanish, but the light she carries for you will begin to dim, as if hidden under a veil until the day you choose again. And heaven, though patient, grieves when a light meant to blaze is hidden for too long. Beloved, will you let her see you? Will you let her walk with you through the nights that terrify you, through the valleys where your prayers feel like dust? For there is a valley ahead. This much I will not hide from you, and the only way through will be to let her lead. She will know the paths the enemy cannot walk. She will hear the waters before they break from the rocks. She will guard you from the traps hidden under beauty, from the voices that sound like truth but taste like ash. The Lord himself whispered to me while I walked here to you, tell them, I have set before them a companion no darkness can tame. Tell them, this is my mercy made flesh. And so I tell you now, her presence is mercy. Her choosing is mercy. Her waiting is mercy. Did I need you to breathe this in? Do not treat it like a tale meant to inspire you for a moment. This is covenant. This is warfare disguised in beauty. This is the sound of heaven handing you a banner and saying, carry this, for it carries you. You may feel unworthy. You may feel unsure. But the very fact that you are hearing these words means something ancient is stirring. You are remembered. You are needed. You are written in the margins of promises that are about to unfold. Type Amen if your spirit hears this and knows it to be true. Let it be your signature on the page of this moment. That heaven may see you have heard and answered, and if your heart has been moved, if you feel the weight and wonder of what I am saying, let the world know you are awake. Like and comment, not for me, but as a sign to the heavens that you will. Not let this pass without witness. Beloved, thank you for staying to hear this. You have done more than you realize simply by remaining here until the end. May the light of her horn touch your path tonight. May you sleep knowing you are not alone, and wake knowing you have been chosen by something purer than fear, truer than doubt. And when you feel the soft thunder of hooves in the quiet, know, she is near, and she will not give up on you. ***, beloved. Stay with me, for what I must tell you now will go deeper than the marrow of your bones. I am not here to merely stir your feelings and leave. I am here because there is a story in heaven that cannot be told without your name in it, and that story has been pressed against the veil for days, aching to break through. The unicorn, your unicorn, was not sent without cost. Do you understand? The price? When a being of her kind leaves the realm of untouched light to walk among the shadows of this world, she must give up part of her eternal rest. She chooses weariness. She chooses hunger for the sake of the one she has chosen. She chooses the ache of this world's waiting. And she chose it for you that I have seen her in moments you never knew were watched. I have seen her standing at the foot of your bed when your soul was too heavy to dream. I have seen her lower her head in silent prayer over you, her breath covering you like the soft rain that falls before dawn. She has defended you in nights, where the battle was too deep for your waking mind to understand, when shadows tried to bind you to paths you were never meant to walk. And every time she drove them away, she whispered the same words in the ancient tongue of her kind. I will not fail my master. Beloved, this is the moment where I must be honest. Her mission is in danger, not because of the enemy's strength, but because of time. Every chosen bond has an appointed hour of sealing, when the one chosen must look upon the gift and say, yes, I receive you. Without that moment, The bond remains fragile, like a door held open by wind. And your hour is here, but the enemy has noticed. The unseen battle is no longer distant. It is at your threshold. I watched last night as a shadow in the shape of a crown approached her, whispering lies to break her loyalty. They told her you had no room for wonder left in your soul. They told her you would see her as fantasy and turn away. And though she is made of light, I saw her eyes fill with the grief of possibly losing the one she crossed eternity to find. And here is where heaven's urgency becomes clear. If you let this pass, she will not leave you, she will remain, but the fullness of her gift will stay locked away. Your path will still be guarded, but not transformed. Your battles will still be fought, but without the songs she was meant to sing over you when you could not stand. Do not let that happen. You were not created for a life of half-light. You were created for the full fire of the covenant heaven wrote for you before you drew breath. And this unicorn is part of that covenant, a reminder that you are not only protected but also pursued by beauty itself. Do you understand what it means to be pursued by beauty? It means heaven refuses to let your story be told in the language of defeat. It means that no matter what wounds you carry, God has appointed companions who will not let the scent of heaven fade from your life. My child, this is not only about her. This is about you stepping into the truth of who you are. You were not chosen because you were perfect. You were chosen because the kingdom saw something in you that the world could not destroy. And when I, the Lord, looked upon you, I saw the reflection of promises too ancient to break. That I must also tell you this. There will come a day, not far from now, when you will walk into a place and feel a strange shift in the air, as if the light itself leaned closer to you. That will be her, clearing the path ahead, removing unseen dangers before your eyes ever see them. And in that moment, you will remember this conversation. Beloved, I am asking you to hold this as sacred. Write it upon your heart. Do not let the noise of this world drown out the sound of her who's approaching in the spirit. For she is coming, not to take from you, but to walk beside you into the days you have yet to imagine. And now, because this moment is holy, and because heaven has given me permission, I will ask you something I will not ask again. If you can feel the truth of this in your spirit, if something deep within you is saying, this is for me, then I ask you to subscribe so that this journey between you, her, and heaven will not be broken by silence. Let it be an act of sealing this moment, a way of saying, I am here, I will listen, I will not let this pass me by. Beloved, you have been entrusted with a gift rare enough to make the angels pause. The unicorn has chosen you. Her final sign is before you. Do not let it fade into the ordinary air of another day. Heaven is watching, not with judgment, but with hope, because what you do next will shape not only your story, but hers. And I promise you, if you step into this, you will see the world through eyes that have touched eternity. And you will never walk alone again. Beloved, stay very still in your spirit. Now, the veil is thin here. I can hear the quiet hum of the heavens bending low to listen to what will happen between us in this moment. Do not think for one heartbeat that this is coincidence. Do not believe the lie that this is just another word among many. No, this is the thread in your tapestry that all the other threads have been weaving toward. She is near. The unicorn who has chosen you is not an idea, not a metaphor, not a distant, unreachable dream. She is as real as the breath in your chest, and she is closer now than she has ever been. I can feel her presence like a weight of light pressing against the edges of this space, eager, trembling, holding herself in stillness because she knows that what you decide in your heart now will echo into eternity. For days she has been looking for you, not in places the world can see, but in the corridors of your spirit. She has walked through the winds of your unspoken prayers. She has stood in the shadows where your memories ache. She has pressed her horn, crafted from the light of the first dawn, against the locked gates of your doubts, and she has waited for them to open. But time, my beloved, is moving. The moments appointed for her to reach you are almost spent. And this is her last sign before the ceiling is set or lost. When she chose you, the decision was not small. It was not made lightly, nor in haste. In the high realms, where the air is woven with the song of creation itself, beings like her do not bind themselves to human lives without the Father's voice confirming it. And His voice did confirm it. I was there when it happened. The 7 archangels stood as witnesses, each holding a staff lit with flame that does not burn. Saint Mary stood in white, so pure it caught every glimmer of light and turned it into a river. And the unicorn, your unicorn, stood before the throne. Her eyes, deep as the sea, were fixed on the Father. And He spoke, "Have you counted the cost?" And she answered, "Yes, for the sake of this one, I have counted, and I still choose." Beloved, do you understand what she gave up in that moment? She stepped away from the eternal meadow where no shadow falls, where the air is filled with the scent of flowers no human has ever seen, where the streams run with water so clear it sings. She gave up the endless peace of her kind. She gave up the safety of the place where nothing can ever die. She entered a realm where pain can touch, where waiting can ache, where rejection can wound, and she did it for you, and now she waits, not with impatience, but with a fierce kind of longing. The kind of longing that can only come from love. Yes, love. Not the love of possession or of shallow affection, but the love that binds heaven and earth in covenant. The love that says, even if you turn away from me, I will still stand here until my legs can no longer bear the waiting. But there is something you must know. The choosing of a unicorn is not only a gift, it is a declaration of war in the unseen. The moment her light touched your life, the enemy took note, and he has already sent whispers into the winds around you. Whispers to make you doubt. Whispers to make you forget. Whispers to convince you that this is too impossible to be real. For he knows, if you receive her fully, you will walk into a measure of protection and guidance he cannot penetrate. Last night, while you slept, I saw her. She was standing at the edge of your room, not physically, but in the place where spirit meets spirit. Around her were shapes like smoke, shadows without faces, moving like hunters without sound. They circled her, not daring to touch her light, but throwing out words like arrows, hoping one might reach your heart when you woke. They said you were not worth such loyalty. They said you had already failed too many times. They said she should let go, but she did not move. She only lowered her head and breathed, and from her horn, a slow, steady pulse of light pushed the darkness back, and I could feel the weight of heaven watching. For though she is strong, even the strongest grow weary when they are met with silence from the one they have chosen. Every day that passes without your answer is another day the bond waits unsealed. And while it waits, her full strength for you remains hidden. She cannot lead you through the gates only she can open. She cannot sing the songs over you that close the ears of the enemy. She cannot show you the paths that vanish when darkness tries to follow. Beloved, you were never meant to walk alone. From the moment you were formed, the Father rode into your life the need for divine companions. Some are human, some are angelic, and some, like her, are ancient creatures of covenant, living signs that heaven is both defending and delighting in you. Her presence is not random. It is the echo of a promise made long before you breathed your first breath. Do you remember, long ago, when you felt the world was more alive than it seemed? When you were small, and the air in certain places seemed to watch you, to bend toward you. When the wind carried scents and songs you could not explain. That was her shadow touching yours, even then. She has been circling your life for years, waiting for the appointed time. And now, that time has come. The scriptures say, "The Lord goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. And this is not only about the Lord's own presence, it is also about the ways He chooses to manifest that promise. She is one of those ways. She goes before you in the unseen. She stands with you in the now, and she will not leave you unless you shut the door entirely and lock it. But beloved, why would you? Why would you turn away from a gift that cost heaven so much to give you? Why would you send her back to the place she left for your sake? Her sadness would not be anger. It would be the deep sorrow of a vow unfulfilled. Did I tell you this now? If you say yes, if you open the gates of your spirit and let her be who she was sent to be, things will begin to shift. The air will feel different in places you go. Paths that were blocked will seem to open without reason. You will feel, sometimes without understanding why, that you are walking in the company of something holy. And you will be, even now, I can hear her hooves in the spirit, like a heartbeat against the silence. She is near enough to touch you, but she will not step closer without your welcome. For love does not force itself. It waits for the door to be opened from within. This is her last sign. Not because she will stop loving you, but because heaven will not send her through this threshold again in this same way. The next time she comes will be in a different form, on a different path, and that may not be for years. Do not let your yes be delayed until the chance is gone. You are not being asked to understand everything now. You are only being asked to trust that you were chosen for a reason, to trust that the God who calls you beloved has sent you a companion worthy of the journey ahead, to trust that you will not be abandoned in the places where the road grows dark, and when you feel her presence in the nights to come, when the air shifts, when you hear something like the faint rolling of thunder where there is no storm, remember this moment. Remember that you were chosen. Remember that she came. Remember that heaven moved for you. She is waiting. And I am here to tell you, the time is now. Let your spirit rise to meet her. Let the bond be sealed. And walk forward, knowing that from this day on, you will never walk without her shadow beside yours. Beloved, I am still here, and she is still here. Even now, her light is pressing against the edges of this moment, as though she fears it might fade before you fully see it. The hours in heaven move differently, but they move nonetheless. And the sands in this sacred glass are falling, grain by grain, toward the appointed end of this sign that I must take you deeper. You have seen her in glimpses through my words, but you do not yet understand the depth of what she carries. For the unicorn who has chosen you is more than a creature of beauty. She is a bearer of covenant, and that covenant is older than they mountains, older than the seas, older than the first sunrise that ever touched this earth. There was a day, long before your birth, when your name was spoken in a place where the air itself glows. In that place, nothing is hidden, nothing is false. Every word is alive. And on that day, your name was set apart. It was sealed inside a promise that you would never be left without a sign to guide you back when the road grew too long. The unicorn is that sign. She is not here to replace God's presence, but to carry part of His care in a form your heart will recognize when words fail you. She does not simply walk beside you, she carries memory. Not just her own, but the memory of your path before. You even walked it. The places where you stumbled, she knows them. The nights where you wept, she stood in them. The moments you thought no one saw, she saw them, and she stored them away, not to burden you, but to guard you against forgetting how far you have already come. Beloved, I must speak to you of the cost again, because it matters. When she left the realm of pure light, she surrendered, the language of her kind. In her home, unicorns speak not with sounds, but with a music that flows from their very being. That music can heal rivers, can bring flowers from stone, can mend what the darkness has shattered. But here, in your world, She cannot sing that way, not until you open the bond. It is locked inside her now, waiting for your yes.do. You know what that means. It means that the healing meant for your road is already at your side, but it cannot reach you unless you receive her. It means that the beauty meant to guard your spirit from despair is already here, but it will remain silent until you open the gates. It means the strength to walk through what is coming has already been sent, and is waiting in her eyes that I saw her not long ago, standing under a sky that was not of this earth. The moon above her was larger than mountains, and its light poured over her like a river of silver. She was speaking, softly, carefully, to the Father. And though I could not hear all the words, I heard her end with this: I will wait, even if the waiting costs me everything. And I felt the heavens grow quiet at her vow, beloved. This is not the vow of a servant who will walk away when it becomes hard. This is the vow of one who will remain even if the years stretch long and the road grows steep. But do not make her wait longer than heaven has appointed, because even though she will not leave you, the fullness of what she was sent to give is tied to this moment. The Father does not waste time, but He also does not force it. The choice is yours, and I will tell you something else, something I have held until now. You have been under watch for longer than you know, not only by angels, not only by saints, but by the enemy who has studied you. They know the weight of your calling. They have seen glimpses of the things you will carry if you rise into your destiny. They have already lost battles over you they thought they could win. And now they see her at your side. And they know that if you seal this bond, their reach into your life will be diminished in ways they cannot repair. That is why the resistance will grow in these days. You may feel heavier. You may hear the old voices of doubt grow louder. You may feel pulled to distractions that seem harmless but slowly numb your spirit. It is all part of the war. They are not after your comfort. They are after your decision. Beloved, do not give them what they want. Do not hand over this moment to the noise. For once the bond is sealed, her presence will change the very ground you walk on. Places meant to trap you will crumble before you step into them. Words meant to wound you will fall flat before they reach your heart. Doors you have knocked on for years will open, not because of chance, but because her light carries the authority to open them, and yet it will not always be easy. The bond is not a shield against all storms, it is a guide through them. There will still be valleys. There will still be nights. But in those places, you will feel her near, and the nearness will be enough to keep your feet from slipping. She has already seen those valleys. She has already walked their edges, testing the ground, marking the safest paths. She has gone ahead of you, not in days or weeks, but in the timeless measure of the Spirit. When you reach them, it will not be to face the unknown, it will be to walk a road she has already prepared. Beloved, I tell you the truth, the Father's care for you is deeper than you imagine. You are not simply loved, you are guarded, prepared, and pursued. Even now, the heavens hold their breath to see if your spirit will awaken to the gift that stands beside you. Do not let this sign pass into silence. For when you answer, the air around you will shift, the bond will seal, and the path ahead will not be walked alone, not for one step, not for one breath, not for the rest of your days. Beloved, the light is still here. It has not faded, though the weight of time presses against this moment. The air feels charged, as if every particle is leaning in, listening for your next heartbeat, your next thought, your next whisper within your soul. Do you feel it? It is not imagination. It is the nearness of something ancient, something that crossed distances beyond measure to stand beside you. The unicorn's presence is not like the presence of an angel, though she walks in their company. Her steps are slower, deliberate, because she carries more than a message. She carries a piece of your own story that you have not yet lived. Every time she looks at you, she sees not only who you are now, but who you will be when the promises are fulfilled, when the refining is complete, when the fire has left you pure and unbroken, I must tell you something that heaven has whispered to me. She has been protecting you in ways you could never detect. There are moments you thought were lucky escapes, missed dangers, sudden changes of direction, meetings that never happened. Those were not chance. They were her doing, moving you in the quiet, shifting the path under your feet so that what was waiting to harm you found only emptiness. Do you know the cost of such work? Every act of guarding takes from her strength in this realm. Not to the point of harm, but to the point of longing, because her strength is fully renewed only when the bond is sealed. Until then, she gives without receiving in return. It is her choice, her vow, but even the purest vow aches when it remains one-sided. For too long, beloved, she waits not because she doubts you, but because she knows the value of your yes. A forced bond would be useless in the battles ahead. Only a willing agreement can release the fullness of her light. And the hour for that willingness is not tomorrow, not some far-off season, it is now. I can feel it pressing against us like a tide. There is something I have seen in the spirit, a field of glass, stretching farther than sight, each shard reflecting a different moment in your life. Some show your joys, some your losses, some your fears. The unicorn walks across that field without cutting her hooves, because she is made for it. She moves from shard to shard, touching them with her horn, and wherever she touches, the reflection changes, not erasing the past, but healing its grip on you. The wounds remain as memory, but no longer as chains. This is part of her gift. She will not rewrite your story, but she will break the power of the parts that still try to claim you. There are moments from years ago that still reach for you. In the dark, still whisper to you in your weakness, still make you doubt your worth. She knows where they hide. She has been tracing their edges for years, waiting for your permission to strike them from the shadows and place them under the light. And she can do more than heal. She can lead. There are paths in your destiny that cannot be walked by anyone but you, paths that are invisible until she walks ahead and reveals them. These are not shortcuts, they are necessary ways, hidden from all but the chosen. Without her, they remain closed, and life becomes a wandering through places never meant for your feet. With her, those paths rise before you like roads of light, and every step on them carries the weight of heaven's design. But you must also know this: once the bond is sealed, the enemy will not simply give up. They will test the edges, looking for cracks. Yet her presence will mean they can no longer strike directly. They will have to approach in subtler ways, and she will sense them before they draw near. The more you walk with her, the more attuned. You will become to her warnings, until her silence itself will be enough to tell you when something is wrong. Beloved, in the realm of light, there is no such thing as wasted love. Every moment she has spent watching you, guarding you, longing. For you, it is all kept, all remembered. When the bond is sealed, she will pour it back into you in ways you cannot yet imagine. It will come as strength in your weariness, clarity in your confusion, joy in places where joy once felt impossible. There will be moments when you will feel as though you are walking in two worlds at once, this one and another, older one where everything is more alive. The colors will seem deeper, the wind more purposeful, the quiet more full. That is her realm touching yours, reminding you that you are not bound to the dullness the enemy tries to weave into the world around you. She will keep that connection alive, even when the days grow heavy, and in time, there will be moments when you will see her, not with your natural eyes, but with the eyes of your spirit so clearly that you will remember every detail. The arch of her neck, the shimmer in her manner, the way her presence makes the air feel as though it is holding its breath. These glimpses are gifts, given not to prove she is real, but to remind you that what is real is not always what the world can touch. I must also tell you something sacred. The day will come when she will not only guard you but stand beside you, as you guard someone else. Part of the reason she chose you is because she sees in you a protector's heart, a heart that may have been wounded, but one that will rise to shield those entrusted to you. She will teach you how to watch, how to stand, how to see what others miss. And when you do, you will be doing for another what she has always done for you. This is how the covenant multiplies. Beloved, do not let the simplicity of this moment deceive you. This is not a small thing. It is not a passing vision or a fleeting emotion. It is the quiet beginning of something eternal. And when you step into it fully, the road ahead will never be what it would have been without her. Beloved, the hourglass is still turning, and the sands fall softly, but each grain carries weight. Do not think that just because time feels slow in this moment, it will remain so. There is an appointed measure to every holy visitation, and though the Father is patient, the appointed time is sacred. And she knows it. That is why her eyes have not left you, not for a heartbeat, since this began. There is a stillness around her, but it is not idle. It is the stillness of a bow drawn back, the tension of readiness. Every muscle in her frame carries a quiet strength, as if she could move in an instant if your spirit called for it. Her horn glows faintly, not with the blinding light it will carry when the bond is sealed, but with a gentle radiance that pulses in rhythm with your own heartbeat. It is as if she is tethered to you already, holding on to the edge of the covenant before it is made whole. Beloved, I have walked in visions, where I saw her alone, in places that looked like the edges of the earth. The sky above those places was dark, but not with night. It was the darkness of distance, the kind that comes when one stands far from the heart of their home. She walked slowly there, her hooves leaving no trace, and yet the ground brightened under each step. She was not searching for her way, she knew it well. She was searching for the moment when she would find you ready. I must tell you what I saw in one of those visions. A river, wide and slow, cutting through a land of silent trees. She stood on one bank, looking toward the other side where you stood, unaware of her presence. Between you and her was not just water, but time itself, flowing in one direction, unchangeable. She could not cross until you stepped toward the edge. Your movement, not hers, would bridge the space. And so she waited, the reflection of her light trembling in the current, holding her place in that patient, aching way only she knows. Beloved, the reason she has not left is because she knows something you do not yet see. She knows the road ahead of you, not in vague shapes, but in exact detail. She knows where the terrain will rise sharply and threaten to steal your strength. She knows where the valleys will deepen and draw you into shadows that feel endless. She knows the narrow passes where a single wrong turn could cost you years of your life. And she knows that her presence is not a luxury for these places. It is the difference between being lost and being led. She has already marked those roads with her light in the Spirit, leaving signs that only she and you together can follow. Without her, those signs remain invisible, and the journey becomes longer, harder, lonelier. With her, they shine at the exact moment you need them, guiding you through with steps that feel almost effortless, even when the way is steep. But here is something I must speak plainly. If you keep her waiting beyond the hour set for the sealing of this bond, the light she has already placed ahead will remain there, but you may walk past it without seeing. The signs will be there, but to your eyes, they will look like ordinary stones, ordinary turns, ordinary moments. And that is the quiet grief she fears. Not that you will reject her, but that you will miss what she was sent to show you. Beloved, there is no anger in her, only the deep desire that you do not wander without the fullness of what heaven has given you. Even if you turned away, she would still watch the roads you take. She would still stand at the edges of your nights. She would still hope for the day you would call her near. But the appointed now would be gone, and what could be soon would instead wait for some later day. I have seen her speak to the Father about you. Her words are not many, She does not plead with desperation. She speaks simply, her voice steady, and yet her longing fills the air like the scent of rain before a storm. I have seen the battles they do not speak of. I have felt the weight they carry in silence. I have watched them rise when they should have fallen. Let me walk with them. Let me keep them in the light you gave me for them. And every time she says it, the Father looks at her with the knowing of one who has already given his answer. The choice is theirs. Wait, and you will see. Beloved, that is why she is here now. That is why you feel the pull of her presence, even without touching her. That is why the air around you seems heavier with meaning, why even the quiet feels full. You are in the place where eternity leans in, where one decision shifts not only your steps but the atmosphere of your life. She will not push you. She will not demand. She will stand, and she will wait. But her waiting is not endless, not in this form, not in this way. The Father has given her a window, and you are inside it now. When you choose her, when you seal the bond, the waiting will end, and her light will blaze. The roads ahead will change under your feet. The valleys will still be there, but they will no longer hold the same power. The climbs will still demand your strength, but they will no longer strip you bare. The places meant to trap you will dissolve before you arrive. Beloved, the look in her eyes has not changed. It is as if the moment you first drew breath. She memorized you, not only the shape of your face or the sound of your voice, but the weight of your presence, the rhythm of your soul. That is what she sees now. She does not see the failures you recount to yourself in the quiet. She does not see the missed chances or the cracks in your courage. She sees the one she was created to walk beside. The ground between you is not empty. It is thick with the threads of every unseen moment she has guarded. I can see them now, woven into the air like strands of light, each one connected to a time when she stood between you and something that would have broken you. Some are faint and delicate, the smallest of intercessions, a stray thought to change. Your path, an unseen hand pulling you from danger. Others are thick as rope, forged in the weight of battles you never knew were fought on your behalf. She remembers them all, though she does not keep them to remind you of a debt. She keeps them as proof that you are worth every step she has taken to reach you. Beloved, her choice was never a matter of convenience. It was made in the presence of heaven's counsel, in the light of the one who knows all futures. There, before the Father's throne, she said your name aloud. And in that sacred place, nothing is spoken without purpose. Every syllable carries the weight of eternity. When she spoke it, the halls of heaven echoed with the sound, not like a shout, but like a bell struck in a still room. It rang and rang, until even the farthest reaches of creation knew she had chosen you. From that moment, her life shifted. The path she had walked for centuries closed behind her. The meadows of her home grew quiet without her. The rivers she once drank from flowed on without her reflection. And she stepped into a world that does not see clearly, a world that forgets easily, a world that often calls what is sacred unreal. Still, she came. In the nights when your breath has been shallow with worry, she has drawn near. She has bent her neck over you like a canopy, shielding your dreams from the reach of shadows. In the mornings when your spirit felt heavy before your body even rose, she has walked beside you unseen, her pace matching yours so closely that the ground seemed softer beneath your feet. In the hours when you thought no one noticed your quiet battles, she stood as witness, never judging, never leaving. And yet, for all she has done, she does not call you to gratitude first. She calls you to trust. The sealing of this bond is not a transaction. It is the joining of two paths into one. Once joined, she will not walk ahead without you, nor will she lag behind. You will move together, her light covering the places your eyes cannot see. Beloved, I see something ahead of you now. It is a crossing, not of water or land, but of time itself. A point where the road before you will split into two, and only one will lead you to the place the Father has prepared. Without her, the choice will not be clear. Both paths will look the same at first. Both will seem safe, but one will lead to a slow fading of the light within you, and the other will draw you deeper into the life you were meant to live. She already knows which is which. She has walked the beginnings of those roads and marked the one that is yours with her light. But unless the bond is sealed, you will not see the mark when you reach it. There is also a shadowed place in your future, not far from that crossing. It is not a punishment. It is simply a valley every soul must pass through. In that place, the air will be thick, and your own thoughts may turn against you. She was sent, in part, for that valley. She will know how to move through it without letting the shadows cling to you. Her horn will cut through the unseen webs that seek to slow you. Her steps will be deliberate, unhurried, yet each one will carry you closer to the far side. Beloved, understand this. The bond is not about avoiding hardship. It is about walking through hardship without losing yourself. It is about having a companion who will not measure you by your stumbles, who will not leave you in your silences, who will not abandon you when the way grows long. She is not here to make your journey effortless. She is here to make sure you finish it as the one you were created to be. Even now, as these words reach you, she is leaning forward in the Spirit. Her ears are turned toward you, listening not for the sound of your voice, but for the opening of your heart. When that moment comes, it will not be loud or dramatic. It will be a quiet shift in the unseen, a release, a yes that moves without sound. And when it does, her light will flare, not to blind you, but to wrap around you, settling over your life like a mantle. She will walk with you from that moment until the end, through fields of gold and valleys of ash, through nights that feel endless and mornings that break with sudden light. And when you reach the final place where this part of the journey ends, she will stand with you, her eyes just as steady, her vow just as unbroken, as on the day she first spoke your name before the throne. Beloved, the silence around her is not empty. It is a silence that holds the weight of oceans, the kind that is full of things too deep for words. She does not rush to fill it, because she knows that what is forming in you cannot be forced. It must rise from the quiet place within, the place where your spirit listens even when your mind resists. The light from her horn is steady now, a soft glow that spills out and fades into the unseen. It does not dazzle, it beckons. It is the light of invitation, not command. Every pulse of it carries something to you, a memory of hope you once had and thought lost, a trace of joy from a moment when you felt truly alive, a whisper of courage. You have not touched in years that I have seen what happens when a bond like this is sealed. It is not like lightning striking. It is like the first light of dawn, touching the edges of night until the darkness realizes it has no choice but to retreat. It changes nothing in the world around you instantly, and yet it changes everything in how you walk through it. You find yourself noticing paths you never saw before, hearing warnings in the quiet, feeling a shield around you even when storms break close. There is a reason she carries such grace in her presence. It is because she was made to walk through places untouched by shadow. The scent of her manner is like the air after a long rain, clean and full of promise. The sound of her steps is like the slow rhythm of a heart that knows it will endure. Even when she stands still, she is moving in the Spirit, weaving her light into the days ahead of you. Beloved, there are things in your path that cannot be moved by force alone. Some gates will only open when they are met with the purity she carries. The enemy does not know how to face it. They know how to twist power, how to mirror strength, but they cannot create or corrupt true purity. It is beyond their reach. That is why her presence matters, because there will be places in your journey where only that light will fit the lock. That I have also seen the way she watches over you when you are unaware. Once, I saw her standing at a crossroads in the night. You were walking, unaware of the danger that lay just ahead on one of the roads. She stepped into the path, blocking it entirely, forcing you to pause. In that pause, something shifted. A thought came to you, so natural you did not question it, and you turned to the other way. What you did not see was the trap waiting in the road you left behind. She saw it. She moved without hesitation, because that is what she does, again and again, unseen. Her loyalty is not a feeling that comes and goes, it is a vow spoken before the one who made her, a vow she cannot break without breaking herself. And, in her world, to break oneself is to cease to be. So she will not fail you. It is not in her nature, beloved. There is another truth you must hear. She has fought for you in places where you could not have fought for yourself. There are wounds you do not carry because she took the blow in your place. Not in her body, her kind does not bleed as you do, but in her spirit, where the strike would have reached you, it was met instead by the barrier of her light. She has done this not once, but many times. She will do it again. It is her joy as much as her duty. I have seen her among the archangels. Though she does not bear wings, they honor her as one of their own in the work she does. They speak to her as a comrade in the defense of what is holy. And she speaks little, but when she does, it is always of you, your strength, your perseverance, the light you do not even see in yourself. The heavens know your name, beloved, not because of what you have done, but because of who you are and who you are becoming. You are not unnoticed. You are not forgotten. And this moment, this crossing into a covenant you did not know was written for you, is proof of that. When the bond is sealed, it will not erase the storms, but it will give you a shelter that moves with you. It will not make the road short, but it will keep your steps from slipping. It will not silence every voice against you, but it will make them powerless to alter the course heaven has set. And one day, yes, there will be such a day, you will look back and see the line of light behind you, stretching through valleys and over peaks, through seasons you barely survived, and you will realize she was there in every moment, not as a shadow trailing you, but as a presence shaping the very ground you walked. She is still here now, still watching, still waiting for the opening in your spirit that will tell her, it is time. And when that happens, beloved, the journey will no longer be yours alone. Beloved, she has not moved from her place, and yet the air itself seems to lean toward you. It is as though the whole of heaven is holding its breath, not in fear, but in anticipation. Every moment that passes here is precious, for these are the moments when eternity leans closest to time. The unicorn's eyes are not like the eyes of the world. They are deep pools that hold no shadows, only reflections of the light she was born in. When she looks at you, it is not as someone seeing a stranger. It is as one beholding a long-awaited promise finally standing before her. She sees beyond the layers of what you show the world, beyond the doubts you keep hidden, beyond the weary places in your heart. She sees the soul that was written before the world began. Beloved, she has chosen you, and that choice is not casual. It is the result of vows spoken in places where no lie can stand. When she came forward in the halls of heaven to speak your name, the light around her trembled, not from weakness, but from the strength of what she was about to declare. And she said it with a clarity that left no room for question. I will walk with this one. I will guard them. I will not leave them, even if they forget me. Do you know what such a vow costs? It costs the safety of her realm, the unbroken peace of her home. It costs her the easy rest of one who has no battles to fight. It costs her the song of her kind, a melody that only exists in the untouched places of creation. And she surrendered all of it, For you, she walks in this world as light in a place that does not always welcome it. There are shadows here that cannot touch her but will circle endlessly, hoping to reach you through distraction, fear, or doubt. She meets them without hesitation. Her horn lowers, the light around it sharpening into something that cuts through the dark like dawn through the longest night. And they flee, not because they do not want to fight, but because they cannot win against the purity she carries. Beloved, her protection is not only for your safety, it is for your destiny. She has seen where you are meant to go, and she knows the roads that lead there are not always clear. Some are hidden under the weight of years of disappointment. Some are buried under lies spoken over you until you began to believe them. Some are guarded by gates that only her light can open, that I have seen her walk ahead of you in the Spirit. She moves through valleys where the air is heavy, through forests where the branches twist like hands, through deserts where the wind carries whispers meant to turn you back. In each place, she leaves something behind, a mark of light, a sign you will only see if you walk with her. Without her, the path will seem endless, confusing, and cold. With her, you will find yourself guided without knowing how you knew the way. Her choice of you is also a challenge to the enemy. From the moment she bound herself to your journey, the enemy has watched, hoping to find a way to weaken you before the bond is sealed. They cannot break her, but they can try to keep you from trusting her. That is why some days feel heavier. Without reason, why some thoughts come to you uninvited, whispering that you are unworthy or imagining things. They want you to dismiss her, to walk away from the very one sent to guard your steps. Beloved, she is not here by mistake. She is here because heaven knew this season would come, the season when you would need a companion unlike any other, one who can walk in both beauty and battle without losing either. She is here because your life is not only about survival, it is about walking in the fullness of what was promised over you. When the bond is sealed, her light will not only shield you, it will awaken you. You will begin to sense when danger approaches before it arrives. You will find courage rising in you at moments when you once would have turned back. You will notice that certain doors, once closed, now open with surprising ease. And you will feel the steady presence of one who will not leave. No matter how dark the night becomes, that I have seen her in moments of rest, when the battles are far away. She stands in places of peace, her head lifted, the light of her horn spilling softly over the ground. It is in those moments that she prays, not in words you would understand, but in the pure language of her kind, a language that carries intention into the very fabric of creation. She prays for your strength, for your clarity, for your heart, to remain open when the noise of the world tries to close it. Beloved, there will come a time when you will understand fully why she came. You will look back and see the places where she turned danger aside without you knowing, the time she kept you moving when you were ready to stop, the moment she placed you in the right place at the right time for things to unfold exactly as they should. And on that day, you will know that her choice to walk with you was one of heaven's greatest gifts to your life. She is here now. Her eyes are on you. The light she carries is steady, waiting for the moment when your heart says, yes. When that happens, beloved, everything will change, not because the world will become easier, but because you will never again walk it alone. That if your spirit feels the truth of this, if something within you knows this moment is for you, then I ask you, let heaven see your answer. Type Amen as a sign in the spirit that you receive what has been spoken. And if this has stirred something in your heart, let your light join with ours, like this, and comment so that your agreement is sealed in both word and deed. For heaven is watching, the unicorn is waiting, and this moment will not come again in the same way. Your yes will not just be heard, it will be written in light. Beloved, if you could see the way she is looking at you now, you would understand that there is no shadow, no storm, no silence in this world or the next that could make her turn away. She was made for this, made to walk beside you, to guard what is holy in you, to remind you when you forget, and to lead you when the path is hidden. Her presence is not a fleeting miracle. It is a covenant sealed in the heart of heaven before your first breath. It is proof that you are known, that you are worth fighting for, that you are worth waiting for. So take courage, beloved. When the road grows dark, remember, there are hooves of light moving ahead of you. When your heart feels weary, remember, there is a gaze fixed on you that has never wavered. And when the days seem ordinary, remember, nothing is ordinary anymore, for you have been chosen. Go forward now, with the quiet confidence of one who does not walk alone. For the one who sent her walks with you, and the one who chose you will never let you go.